Ubisoft is relaunching its Prince of Persia franchise with the new Prince of Persia for Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. This is a brand new Prince with a brand new storyline, and the sands of time that we've come to know and love are actually gone away. So for those who are expecting the same old Prince of Persia that you've known and loved, you're in for a bit of a surprise. Ubisoft has completely redone the style and feel of the series, and we're not just talking about the cheesy angst of Warrior Within. Instead, we get a beautiful, artistic world running off a modified version of the Assassin's Creed engine. Oh, emo Prince, how little you are missed.
Hey, I'm a legend. I'll live forever anyway. Wow, that sounded better in my head than out loud.
The characters in this Prince of Persia are completely different from the Sands of Time trilogy. You start off as a punk thief lost in a sandstorm who gets transported into a mystical world. Pretty quickly you run into Elika, a descendant of a mystical people who are charged with protecting the Tree of Life, prison to the evil Ahriman. Faster than you can say Akami, Ahriman is freed and the world is overtaken by corruption. The prince and Elika must fight to heal the lands and restore them to their former beauty. As familiar as this story may be, it's actually pretty good. Elika is going to be the character that people care about. She saves you when you're about to die, never acts out of turn, and accepts your boorish behavior. She's the perfect girlfriend. Most of the emotional weight comes from Elika, and she's a likable secondary character in the vein of Alex from the Half-Life series. The new prince follows tradition and is a smug jerk. We're not sure why the prince has to be a jerk all the time, but at least he follows in that jerk tradition.
Oh, you're heavier than you look.
Playing Prince of Persia is like running through a watercolor painting. It's absolutely gorgeous, and there's something magical about the art style. Now there are 4 main worlds, and each has its own feel. Everything from a city of pillars to crumbled stone and lava. If you get high enough, you can even see the parts of the land that you've saved from corruption, and the areas that you haven't healed yet. Now, this game runs beautifully. Sure, there is occasional slowdown, but there's minimal loading and texture popping, and just the art style itself is so vibrant and beautiful, it's unlike anything I've ever seen in a video game. The gameplay may turn some people off though. The prince that you control at the start of the game is the same prince that you control at the end of the game. He doesn't learn new moves or upgrade his weapons at all, he's always going to use the same sword. The controls are really simple. There's a button for acrobatics, a sword button, a button to control your gauntlet to grab onto walls or to launch enemies into the air, and a button to use Elika. Combat is always 1-on-1 or 1-on-2 if you're counting in Elika, and it's a lot slower paced than many people are going to be used to. So if you want to try to button mash, you're really not going to get a lot out of the combat. This is not a bad thing, it's just different. Instead of the frantic button presses we're used to from a Prince of Persia game, the focus here is rhythmically chaining combos together. For example, you may hit a guy with a sword a few times, use the gauntlet to launch him up in the air, then have Elika throw you at your own enemy. There are also quick-time events in the middle of battles to do special evades which allow for some great cinematic moments. But they do get old after a while because you're going to keep seeing the same ones again and again. Although the prince doesn't gain any powers, Elika does, and that's how you progress through the game. After healing an area, you'll collect light seeds to gain magic which activates special power plates. You'll fling from plate to plate with the rebound magic or run up walls with the dash power. Now each of the different stages will have specific magic plates in them, so the order that you choose to unlock the powers is also going to be the order in which you're going to be able to play through the different worlds. Each boss has a specific corruption trap that's also released into the world, and the order you tackle the various stages will determine which traps are released and when, meaning you could drastically change which traps you'll face throughout the game. If Prince of Persia has one major issue, it's that there's just not a lot of challenge. You can't die because Elika will always save you, and the minor puzzle elements just aren't hard at all to figure out. I'm all for creating an experience that even casual gamers can enjoy, but there's no option to escalate the difficulty for those who don't want their hands to be held. Not sure if you'll make a double jump? Don't worry, the color drains from the screen when you need to use Elika for a double jump. Can't tell when an enemy is about to counterattack? No sweat. A button prompt will appear to warn you. Again, there's nothing wrong with making things easier for the masses, but there's no reason to exclude a tougher challenge for those who want it. This concern aside, Prince of Persia really is more about the experience. Now, I'd have a much bigger problem with the lack of difficulty if it wasn't for the fact that the game is really still rewarding and enjoyable despite this issue. This is the type of game you want to sit back and enjoy. Just accept the ease of play and enjoy the visuals and crazy gymnastics. And for hardcore completists, it is difficult to find all 1001 light seeds, and you will have to do some clever thinking to get to them. And that will extend the normal 8-hour game quite a bit. Prince of Persia is not a game that everyone will like because it's very different from the norm. However, if you can get past the changes to the formula, you'll find a very beautiful and striking experience. Sometimes being different pays off, and you should definitely check this prince out, even if he is a jerk. For the full written review, head on over to IGN.com.
I just want to get out of here. I want to find my donkey and I want to go home.